Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor,
I'm Alex.
It's Wyatt.
and we're back bringing you guys another movie review. This time, very excited. Speak No Evil. I think this was definitely the highlight of the most recent week's release. We were all pretty excited. At least I was. Ever since the trailer dropped, I was like very excited for this one. Um, and I, I like we're getting close to October, and you guys know I love horror movies. So
Oh
anything
yeah.
thrillerish or intense like this, is right up my alley. And James McAvoy making a return to the screen, so that's always a plus. So I want to hear you guys' general thoughts. Whoever wants to go first on Speak No Evil. That way we can then move to spoiler territory afterward.
All right, let's start with you, Wyatt. You were the one who was most excited about doing this review with us. So how about you start?
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get in with y'all. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't watch anything before going
Oh,
into this movie.
that's
I
lit.
saw all I saw was this. That's all I
That's
saw.
lit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Um, reading a couple of reviews, they did said the marketing gave a lot of stuff away, so I'm
oh yeah.
glad I didn't watch anything about this movie. 8 out of 10 for me. Not getting into any spoilers. This movie really tested like society's tendencies. It put society's tendencies to put society's tendencies and etiquette and other people's feelings over natural instincts and people knowing what they should do. And I feel like we've all been in like some situations like this where we know like maybe we should say something or maybe we should do something, and it's just uncomfortable to do. Even they even brought up situations in society just with like vegetarians and stuff like that. It was very interesting. The dialogue in this, the dialogue going back and forth was A1. I really like that. Uh and each act just had a different layer to it. I will say James McAvoy took this movie to a different level. Without James McAvoy, I don't know if we would if I would have rated this movie an 8. He just took it to the next level. We got to commend him. I don't know how this man hasn't won any awards or anything like that, but man, he took this movie to another level. 8 out of 10 for me. What did y'all think about it?
All right, awesome.
Alex, go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah. For me, yeah, I too have to agree with you, Wyatt. If James McAvoy was not in this movie, I do not think I would rate it any higher. It probably would just been like average without his presence, and like since he's like the one that we're most watching, the most engaging with. But I honestly do agree. I give this movie an 8 out of 10 due to the fact that it does kind of create this sad situation where like how far you go with these people and strangers that you meet, and like how much you're willing to allow, how long etiquette takes you for so far. But also it does kind of get into like the more societal conversation about like truth, relationships, and even some bits of the movie involving like parenting in some way, the form, because it kind of goes over the very different societal structure of how one as like someone tries to act in like society with like etiquette, as you say, as well as how two people are meant to like interact, how what the limitations of what you can and can't say before you can make someone uncomfortable. And this seems like to really want to test you on each different scenario in that way. Because like every time James McAvoy is on screen talking and interacting with his family, they they just kind of creates the different type of tension where you're just knowing like how long until these people are ready to like either say something or like just ready to like get out of here. But
Yeah, it's like they need to do something or they need to get out, but they don't want to rock the boat.
yeah, like 'cause that kind of depends on like how like society has kind of implemented this whole thing of like we're meant to be mannerable etiquette, not rub somebody the wrong way. Which honestly, it's actually speaks a lot of volumes. What I think is why this movie is probably going to resonate with so many different people, especially with someone who has like kids or in a relationship. And it's crazy because like this movie is actually in a remake of a foreign Danish film back from 2022.
Mm.
So and I haven't seen that one, but I am mad. But I have heard that the original was a lot better, but still has like its core similar themes, but I think it's done like a very more extreme type way that's very more horrific. That falls more on the horror vibe, whereas this one was American Remake is really an intense thriller at its core, basically.
Right. Yeah.
I was reading that, yeah, like you said, that the Danish one was more of a horror film, but this was more of a thriller film. I did see that people said this one was a little more convincing. Like there wasn't a lot of like super like cringe moments within the dialogue or within the movie that you're like, oh, that's so unbelievable, or that just
Yeah.
took you out of it. All the acting and dialogue and screenwriting was up to par in this movie,
Yeah.
and took us for a journey. Especially if you haven't had seen the original. If you've seen the original and you're going into this movie, you kind of know what's going to happen through like the first hour, because like the first hour is the same. But I was reading that they do change up the third act in this movie, so they gave it a nice twist.
Yeah, yes, which is good because I feel like you're gonna do a remake, really add like something different or a new element, or then why bother making a new one altogether, right?
Yeah, exactly. So good move by Blumhouse in that one, and good move by Blumhouse hiring James.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. You guys pretty much, yeah. I think this is probably the first time we all agree with the same rating. I'm also giving it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was like like it's not a perfect movie. It's not the most elite intense thriller you'll ever watch in your life, but it was a very solid film. I really enjoyed my time. And I think Wyatt touched on probably what was the most important part to me. It was nothing ever happened that took you out of the experience of thinking that this is all feasible, all possible, all real. Because, every now and then you get one of those movies where it could still be a good film and you enjoy your time, but then this one little thing that would never actually happen in real life happens and it just completely takes you out of it, and then and again you'll still sit there, watch the rest of the movie, enjoy your time, but as far as the immersion aspect of it all, that little incident or what have you takes you out of it. And this movie didn't have any of those, and I think that was really special. And like the most special part of this movie, which we've touched on already, James McAvoy. Like, I was talking with you guys both know him, obviously, our friend Daniel. I went to the movies with him. We were talking about it, and he's just meant for a role like this. He really is. He is just fantastic.
absolutely.
Because like, I don't know if you guys have seen Split, for example, but it falls all under that category. He's just he's a sicko, and I love him, and
He's so charming.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't know he had that side to him either.
Yeah, he's so charming, and he wins over the audience, and like through each act we get to like he gives us slivers of who he truly is.
Right.
And then by the time the third act we're getting like, ooh, this guy truly is, and how he brought us through that
Was great.
was awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, made this movie, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have to say on it, because you guys touched on the rest. Really, I feel like we all feel a very similar type of way about this movie, which is great. That's how you know it's a genuine solid film. But let's talk spoilers. Let's get into some more juicy stuff, So, if you don't know how things work around here, we try to bring you guys videos at least once a week, sometimes more. So please make sure to subscribe if you like videos like this. And if you like this video, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button down there because it really does help us out. This is the spoiler warning. If you haven't seen it, if you don't want it spoiled, click off the video, but we will be moving on to spoiler territory. Now, I just want to, I didn't. I think it's actually great how this movie started off with you were just talking like the phases of James's character, like you were just talking about, right? Like I did not see him being full on like family on vacation dad mode. I thought it was great how he breaks the ice, like getting the chair from dude at the pool. Like
Oh yeah,
I busted out laughing in the theater just because I was like, this is how we're introduced to homie. He jumps right in the pool. He's literally making homie jealous of his life. He's like, look at this guy. He like
yeah.
him and his wife love life, and I'm over here miserable in my. We were talking about this the other day. Why? Literally
No,
yesterday.
I see people like this all the time.
Like
I
people are
feel I
miserable.
feel like this dude is me. Like, hey, can I use your chair? And I'm over there with the dogs. We're jumping in the pool and shit
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
DJing. I don't know, man.
Like, and we were just talking about this yesterday. They're like, some people are miserable.
Yeah,
Some people hate their lives. Alex, some people are miserable. Some people hate their lives.
Yeah,
And that was the case of this dad. He's like, he almost like envied him, right? He was
yeah.
like,
It definitely was because it definitely there are moments kind of sprinkled in where he kind of wishes he was like James McAvoy's character Patty, where because like Patty,
right,
he's charming, he's confident, he's strong, he's more known, he's like self-independent. He has a happy marriage, a good son who is like loyal, agreeable, obedient, things like that. Whereas he came in where
yeah,
he can't. Whereas Scott McNairy's character Ben, he can't even get his own daughter to give up on the stuffed animal where she's about to be like 12
yeah,
years old, and like him and his wife are like strained because as we find out later, his wife was texting this dude, and the dude sent the wife like a dick pic, and so their marriage has kind of been like and strained and like
yeah, a little shake.
not great.
yeah. And James, Patty's James McAvoy's character, they having sex on the daily. Homie
So
lucky if he gets it once a month, she said.
ass.
With
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not good for Ben's
What it,
confidence at all.
let's hold up. Mackenzie Davis, how did you think she was in the role of playing this woman that's in this situation with her husband? And I thought her role, like she played like, because she was a bitch at times. She played that role perfect. Yeah, she
I
played,
think
Yeah.
and at
I
the end she really evolved. We're in spoilers now, so at the end she really evolved and took over. Her character evolvement through the film was amazing. I can't say the same for Scoots, because I felt like they were gonna bring his character along, and in the third act he just still wasn't with it. But Davis's role in this film was great. She played that wife role, and the dialogue between her and the other wife and between James was nice. I really enjoyed it, and it was very believable.
Yeah, you're right. I will do say that. When you say well, she's like a bitch, I do understand that she was, but like in a way where it's not like a bad way where she's not trying to be. It's just that at the first sight of like even from when they first met, like Patty and his family and stuff like that, she kind of had like this inkling feeling that there's something was wrong. Especially later on when they get to like their cabin, like way in the woods and like away from most civilization, stuff like that. But I think again, it's basically due to like the whole societal constraints where like you meet these people, but you can't really act on these suspicions because then you think like we might get a total misunderstanding of the situation, or we can't say anything because we're guests in their home. We don't want to be too rude. We can't be too judgy. We don't
Yeah,
want to be rude to like their kindness, and they're opening up their home to us, spending time with us, and we think of themselves as like good friends, even though we just met. It's that whole societal limitation.
right. Yeah,
you're
yeah,
hitting
yeah.
it, you're hitting it
Well,
right on the head.
well,
It's like
I
she was
think
bringing up red flags. It's like she was bringing up red flags, but in turn she was just looking like the bitchy wife. But they were real red flags, and like you
right.
said, the society norms and not wanting to ruff anybody's feathers was keeping her from doing that. And I love how they had the audience and them just kind of like in this wheel.
Mhm.
It was kind of great, the
Yeah, yeah.
theory around this movie.
I think she did I think as far as the victim's family, I'll say the victim's family. What? Well, I'll have two sides to this equation: the attacker's family and the victim's family. When it comes to the victim's family, I think she definitely carried. I think she definitely carried. Well, obviously James carried the attacker side of the family, if that makes any sense. But I think she carried it. Here's why: because Ben, in all actuality, and excuse my language, was a pussy the whole time.
Oh, most
Yes,
definitely.
The
absolutely.
whole,
Yeah.
like, especially near the end, you gotta, as a man of your family, you gotta put your big boy pants on and turn the f up. It's it's survival now. It's let's go. And this woman did everything. Without this woman, they'd all be dead.
Oh yeah, most
So
Yeah.
definitely.
she turned up. I think she carried, but I also, on a conversational level, on a plot level of the things you guys were just talking about, I think why she did such a good job at like managing those awkward situations where it's like, don't talk to my children, or like, don't, and like, those types of those situations can get very like, and they're very awkward yet have to be done, and you like, don't want to overstep, but you're also like trying to stand firm, and things like this. And I think she was the one that handled all of those situations, and she did it as best as she could. I think she was great, to answer your question, because you asked how do you think she did. I thought she did great, really. I
Yeah,
really did. I really did like.
played the role perfect.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, no, yeah. When
Yeah.
you say it like that, then yeah, she really was the best. So yeah, each side, from like the attacker to the victim side, yeah, they each had like that one presence in there that really carried out through the whole way. So yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
But I feel like Sierra's role was really good too. Like James's wife,
Yeah.
man, she
You
just
could
had
tell she was a
she just had a little answer for everything, you
Yeah,
know?
but
Yeah.
like, you could tell she was a psychological liar. Like, I was like, you're doing a fantastic job, but I know you're bullshitting right now.
But it was just a perfect role for her.
Yeah, yeah.
She hit this on the nail because it was completely believable coming from her. Like,
Uh-huh.
they really picked a good cast for this movie because it did not take us out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I do gotta actually, we gotta give a shout out to actually like Dan Ho and Alex West Leffler, who basically played the kids on each side of the family, like Ant with the attackers and Agnes with the victims. They each gave like a very believable performance where it's like they were like the kids aren't like just for show. They're still smart, have their own independent way of thinking. Like especially Dan Ho, who played Ant, who literally could not speak. And he had to go to like his facial expressions, from that body language, basically delete everything towards the solution, like what's really going on behind the scenes to show how truly evil Patty's family is.
Yeah, man. Dan was trying to tell him the whole time.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. And as the audience, we knew because he was trying to tell them the whole time, and they were not getting the message when he was trying to get it to him. I loved how that's how they gave the audience an in
Yeah,
on
yeah.
on the
Right.
plot.
Exactly. Yeah, and speaking of, I need to rewatch this movie when it gets to when we're able to watch it at home, because I need to pause it at that scene where he showed the watch and read what the watch said on the back.
Yeah, the watch.
I couldn't do
The watch did say something like that.
that in the movie theater, but that's why I love having a
That was the
pause.
dad's watch.
It was his dad's watch, I
Yeah.
know, but I want to read.
Yeah.
It said
Okay,
something on the
got you.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It said something on the back, and I want to read it. That was just a side note, because that's like the first thing I think about when we talk about Ant. I was like, man, he was trying to show her that watch, and I'm like, I'm trying to read what it said on the back. But I think one of the best scenes was really the dinner scene. Right? They go out, they have dinner, because we're talking about that awkwardness, that like tension, that societal thing, right? All that. It's like we got one free and loose couple on one side of the table. We got this other strained relationship on this other side of the table.
Yeah, they just a little uptight.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
there's this whole conversation going that, and then, she goes down underneath the table and that whole bit. And it's like a true, like, they played, both of them, Ben and Louise, like they're acting in that moment of like acting like kind of like a, oh, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm awkward. Like, was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
top notch, because like even as the audience, you feel that awkward. It's palpable. Like you feel it. It's touchable. Like that awkwardness, that tension in the room. You also, as the audience, feel that tension in that room, and it's I don't know. That was one of those scenes where basically after it was over, like the characters took a deep, and I also took a deep breath, like, "Ooh, okay," because it's such a awkward like thing to watch and to be in. I don't know, but I really like that. I really like that scene. I think it was one of the best when it comes to that awkwardness being tangible. Also, the everything that went down with the when the kids did the choreography and the dancing and all that whole bit, because they were overstepping on each other's toes with the kids and all that. That was a whole different situation that also displayed like kind of like this is what both of y'all have touched on, like, so you don't want to overstep but you want to stand firm also on your situation, and it's difficult, man. It's difficult, like in real life. I mean, like, I don't know, it's always tough, like who are you to discipline another child, but also like
But some parents are cool with that. Like
some
some parents are cool with like maybe not a random parent doing it, but like maybe like close friends' parents doing it. Like I remember as a kid, like other parents like not spanking me or anything like that, but like telling me like you need to say yes sir and yes ma'am. Don't
yeah,
don't
yeah,
come don't come at me with yeah kid. Like you feel
yeah,
uh and just things like that on etiquette. Get your elbows off the table. We don't do that here in this house. Maybe something like that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and
Like I said, it's all situational,
it is all situational because
because it's all
somebody's parents might be cool with that,
we're here in the
like
South.
mine, but somebody
Norm.
else's parent might flip over that,
That's what
man.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like, we're here in the South. That's a pretty common thing. I would also get, I'd go over to friends' houses, and their mom would say this, that, the third, whatever. Just like you said, we're here, but you know in their life, who knows? Like, that's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, that's weird as heck. Like, you're like insane for even thinking you could do that. For example, like, we don't know. It's all
yeah,
situational.
yeah.
It's all like yeah, it's all based on your views, right? So it's really like how you see it. And someone could have maybe seen uh that scene and had a different view and would have been like, why is she tripping? Or somebody could have seen that scene and had the same view and would have been like, oh yeah, dude, like, it's
Oh
all
yeah, it
plays to
brought tensions over ideology.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love the concept. It's very relatable. It made multiple people, like all different types of people, relate to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, the third act, I thought actually played out great. You would think it would play out in a more, again, the trope here and the worry is that it falls into very predictable third act, you know, but it didn't. I thought it was actually very spicy, very
Man,
different.
the third act was like a siege movie. I loved how they turned it into a siege movie where they were stuck in the house and like
Yeah.
the couple was trying to get them in, low ammo. They had to just find random weapons throughout the house, and it turned into like almost like a Home Alone almost type vibe.
Yeah.
Not Home
No,
Alone,
not
but
exactly
like
like that. But
you get
yeah,
it, you get it. There's some traps in the house. They're finding places to hide so they can ambush them, stuff like that, dude. And I loved how they brought the third act into that. It was really suspenseful and very relatable with the circumstances they're in. Like they're in somebody else's house. They don't know where anything is. The other There's only one shell in the shotgun. They had to use that wisely, and I thought the siege on the house was very relatable. Y'all can talk a little bit about the third act.
yeah. Well, if I know the realization that basically like Ben and Sierra, I mean Patty and Sierra, basically take these families and then basically kill them and then like keep the children. Then it's like I think it also kind of goes more into like the parenting style stuff like too, where it's like they like where the only reason Ant has been alive so long is because like he's obedient, he stays loyal, and of course he keeps his mouth shut. But it's also like wondering how like what happened to, like to the other kids that were taken and like what they did that made Patty and Sierra want to kill them to move on to like the next family or so. Because every time they get a new family, they take all their money, basically kill them, and basically make them disappear, and then basically take their kids and everything like that. And then also kind of plays into like Sierra, where apparently she claims that she was taken when she was taken by Patty like years ago, and like I don't know, it could have been like a lie. Because again, she's very good at deception to be able to get them to stay at the house when originally, Louise wanted to leave originally, so they tried to sneak out. But then, like, Sierra was a very good liar, emotionally manipulating them by resonating with them as like being a protective mother. So depending on whether that's true or not, it just kind of shows like how long this type of thing has gone on for, like how Patty basically like trains these people as he raises them as for himself as his own like idyllic family, a murderous idyllic family, but still family nonetheless.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that's facts. And honestly, I really was trying to figure out their motive because unlike you, I did see the trailer, so I knew this was coming. But I guess the whole bit, like, I wasn't clueless to what was
I'm so glad I don't watch trailers.
Which, by the way, bro,
stop watching trailers.
I'm so jealous to have that experience because that would have definitely like elevated my movie viewing experience. Even though, again, I had a great time, but I was like, why is he doing this? And in the end, it's money. I was like, dang.
Money, and he wanted to have a kid too.
Say what?
He wanted to have his own child too. And the
Agnes
Asling, Sierra, is her name Agnes?
No, the little girl is Agnes.
Oh, Agnes is the little girl, but Sierra couldn't have children, so he wanted to have children with Agnes so he could have his own child. That was one of his intentions also.
That he was trying to have kids with the daughter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the idea. Where like after Sierra had died,
was it him?
What, kidnap her? Wait till she grew up.
I guess so.
That would probably be it. Because like, even after Patty had found that Sierra had died, he was still planning on taking Agnes. But again, since Sierra's wife had died, he's like, we only have each other.
Trying to raise Agnes up to be like the new Sierra.
Yeah.
Like replace Sierra. Yeah. You feel me?
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it also shows there's like this whole balance of like wanting family, but also like still keeping like the more like evil nature where it's like, you need money to raise a family. So it's kind of like a whole balance. There's something in there, but honestly, yeah, it's still a pretty evil situation, however you handle it.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, dude, it's batshit crazy.
Yeah. Huh. That's kind of weird. Okay. Not like the movie's weird. I'm just saying like homie's weird.
Oh yeah.
Again, they chose the right person for this gig.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. That makes me Wow. I need to see, I'm totally watching this again. Once it gets to
watch it again.
Definitely would watch this movie again.
One thing I will say about the third act, I could not sympathize with the husband. I could not sympathize with Ben. Like we said,
with him for what?
I couldn't sympathize with him through the whole movie about like what he was going through and stuff like that.
Oh, like feeling sorry that he's in this situation?
Yeah, and they had a chance to bring him around. Like he had the chance to like stand up for his family.
Yeah.
Be the man that his wife wanted to be. Take charge of the situation and get his family out of this. Like it's life or death situation, my guy.
That's true. That is so true. I've actually have on the IG Filmstagram accounts that I follow and I chat with. That's kind of been like a universal thing where like that since like Ben did not really change, he was able to step up. That's been like a major complaint throughout this adaptation. I mean, this remake.
Yeah. And
You called it.
that might have been like the only thing they could have done better in the movie is make his character arc a little better. But guess what? Maybe his character arc wasn't meant to be like that. Maybe he was just meant to be a schmuck. There's a lot of
Yeah,
schmucks out there.
yeah, you're right. It could be because like based on what I heard about where James McAvoy literally based his his character Patty, he based it off of Andrew Tate, his whole personality thing, and which I kind of think in this person because we already know how Andrew Tate is literally like a toxic masculinity, misogynistic, sex criminal and stuff like that, and who has to and basically naive, stupid men follow that dude for like reasons unknown. Like seriously, they gotta be like mentally, they gotta be like mental or something to want to follow that dude. Because I think Ben is kind of meant to be
Yeah.
meant to be like the place
I
of
hope Andrew Tate don't come for us.
fuck Andrew Tate. I beat his ass.
What? We got to clip this and put this shit on the TikTok.
Yeah, I beat Andrew
A
Tate.
one-on-one between Alex and Andrew
Man,
Tate.
I mean, dude, I beat Andrew Tate and take his blue Gotti.
Man, that's hilarious. But go on, bro.
yeah. But yeah,
Come on.
yeah, we all know that Patty is basically like originally is what Ben is what wanted to be idealized for what his life should be. And again, Ben
Right.
take the place of like again these types of men who feel inferior and think they have to follow this like toxic masculinity type thing. But I think again it shows that someone with high toxic masculinity, things do not turn out well for them, and basically people see them as like ignorant, like just probably just bad, arrogant, evil people. I think that's how I see it. So I think the fact that I think just like Ben, since his whole personality thing was like clearly opposite, maybe it's the kind of way of saying like the way he is. Again, he should be improved upon, but it shouldn't be at the level of like where Patty is. Because again, Ben did learn. He could say he did blame himself for this whole situation, and he should listen to his wife, which again is a greater acknowledgement since the fact that he's kind of been against her throughout most of the trip and kind of keeps siding with Patty. And again, because Patty's been trying to taking Ben aside with his own little personal trips, like hunting trips, trying to making share his own like idealized views of like his family life, things with his wife, and like it just feels like he's just kind of spreading that like toxic masculinity type thing, which, as we see by the end of it, is not the best way to go, considering the fact that Ben, in his own way, almost got his family killed.
Well, first off, I would have never went back for that damn bunny.
Oh yeah. Oh, me
Fact.
neither. I definitely would. I'd be like, fuck that rabbit. You're grown, girl. We'll get you a new
Yeah.
one. Forget about it. It's gone.
They found
Put your
themselves
mic-
in the
put your mic a little
situation.
closer.
They
put your-
got out of the situation and then went right back into it.
Why? Put your mic a little closer to your mouth.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, they found their way out of the situation and then went right back into it.
Yeah.
Leaving with that bunny, man.
Yeah.
I would have left the bunny. We would have got her a new bunny. Girl, this is life or death.
No,
It's
F the
time
new
to
bunny.
It's time to grow up. It's time to grow up. We're
Well,
leaving the bunny behind with our lives. Let's
she's
go.
she's about to. She's about to. Just because this little girl she was about to start dry heaving. Well, okay, start dry heaving. You ain't
Man.
gonna die.
You're
I'll
not gonna
keep
die
driving.
without this bunny.
Actually,
Yeah.
if we look at it from a certain specific, very harsh angle, that could have been like the one unrealistic move. Because me, I ain't turning back around for no bunny, bruh.
Me neither.
But I do like how
But at that
how
point
they
in time,
gave subtle clues. They gave subtle clues earlier in the movie that she had panic attacks.
yeah.
And she
Oh,
was
she was
going,
about to have one.
yeah.
In that moment, she could see her. She was like,
But
like,
she was,
about-
plus she was scratching to like whenever someone gets like anxious like that and they're scratching, they're gonna keep scratching until they bleed, and like that's like a whole
Well,
other issue.
and scratch till you find the bone, because that'll still be you alive and not us dead.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing. No. But just on a funny little side note, the one truly unrealistic thing about this entire movie, like for real though,
What's
is
up?
that at the end of it, they still drove away in that Tesla.
How
Believe me,
was the charge
no,
on that
no,
Tesla?
that shit was not charged. That shit would have been dead like an hour and a half ago in movie time. Like
They
that shit would have
they
been dead.
shouldn't have put the Tesla in the movie. I don't know why they put the Tesla in the movie, but they shouldn't have put
They
it in.
wanted us to show they were, they had money and
Man, they could have put him in
whatever.
like a Range Rover or some shit like that. You
Bruh,
feel
you
me?
gonna tell
Put
me
it.
you drove your Tesla all the way to the deep mountains in,
I know,
I
I
guess,
know.
was
That
it
was the only
Holland?
unreal. That was the
Did
only
they ever
unrealistic
specify
thing.
where they were?
Yeah, it did. I just forget what. I just forget where. I know it was in Europe.
Well, yeah, it was in Europe. I don't know if it
Look
was
at
or
look it
Holland.
up. I guarantee they don't have charge stations.
No, 100%. No, no. Like,
Yeah,
regardless, even if they do, I just went. We rented this Tesla when we went to Arizona just now, brother. We had to charge twice when we went on the Grand Canyon hike.
yeah.
Like, sorry, but you can make the destination, but you ain't leaving it without charging it at the destination.
No, I
That's
feel.
just that's just a fact. And so, anyways, I thought that was funny. But again, not a big deal. But that was 100% the actual one thing that is like
Well, I
true.
was waiting for it to become an issue in the movie. I was
Ah,
waiting for them to bring that
yeah.
up. Like, oh
Like,
shit, we only
oh,
got 25 miles.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what are we gonna do?
On the
There
thing,
could have been a fourth act. They could have continued this
oh,
shit.
dude,
Like a chase after the siege. Even like
they
they could have went
definitely could
further.
have played that through a certain angle. It could have been like a fuck. The battery's dead. Yeah, fact.
Yeah, yeah, they could have played that out. And I thought that's what they were gonna play out, but they did the tire.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Yeah,
at least still got that issue out the way though, because they're not gonna be driving on no flat tire.
and how did that bunny get on the roof? That
I'm
was
pretty sure they
weird.
just like threw it up there.
Yeah,
Oh,
weird,
Seriously,
weird.
seriously, for a little girl who's very attached to her bunny, she clearly don't keep a really good eye on it though, for them to be able to take it and just put it up there.
facts.
Yeah,
Facts. Facts. That's how you know it's just a habit thing. Like when she's not even paying attention or thinking about it, she don't really care. But then once she realizes it's gone, then it's like that's when it's like, and it's one of those
Yeah,
things. It's like,
because she lost that bunny 3 times.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know. But overall, I think the movie does a very good job at keeping everything very grounded, very uh in reality, and I appreciate that. That's like so uh, like it's so good for a movie like this to be like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it does it. I think it does it a positive service because again, if you did some things that were like, because I've seen plenty of thrillers, intense thrillers where they do some things where they're like that would never actually happen in real life, and I still enjoy the movie and I still watch it. It has a good plot or whatever, but there's definitely a level of that took me out of it that comes into play.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
what a good relation to this would be is like this is gonna be like this kind of like a good antithesis or antithesis. I don't know. It's like it seems like a good polar opposite where this one has like more believability and relatability in comparison to like the M Night Shyamalan movie Trap. Am I right, guys? Yeah, I saw the review you
Oh,
guys did. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
worst movie of the year. I still stand on that.
It's like it's like the opposite. It's like quite literally the opposite. Yes.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, like you said, Alex, polar opposites. That's right.
But yeah, in regards like to the ending of Speak No Evil, this movie. I mean, honestly, with the way Ant literally killed Patty, I mean, that seems like that was a lot of years, like months of like anger and stuff that he's kind of kept hidden, just unleashing
Mhm.
on this dude, justifiably. But that was literally a lot, and the kid's that has got to be traumatized, very traumatized.
So I like how they did the ending. Very weak of the family not to kill him.
Well,
Because if I was the mom, I was dad, I would off the guy
Hell yeah, I
before
would have
leaving.
used that one shotgun shell to blow him away.
Oh yeah, same. And they didn't. They walk away, and that kid's like, "What the hell? Y'all ain't about to kill this guy?" Gets his chance with a brick. Yeah,
Yeah.
I read. It was a good. It was a good. It was a good ending. A lot of people were complaining there, like there wasn't enough gore, like it wasn't really a horror movie. Like it definitely technically was not a horror movie. This was a suspense movie,
Yeah.
suspense thriller movie. And I didn't feel like there was a necessary need for like a lot of gore
Yeah, that would have been
in
like
this
over.
movie.
That would like way overdone, like over exploitative or something like that. That would have just been excessive when it didn't need to be.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah.
So I thought this movie was good, man.
Mhm.
It was nice to go into the movie theaters and see a solid film because I saw what y'all just reviewed, and I'm curious to see y'all's review on it. What the mercenary movie?
Killer's
What was it?
game.
Killer's Game, Batista. Uh, I saw that one before it, and we were debating even going home after that because I didn't see any trailers on Speak No Evil. I didn't know what it was going to be about, and ended up staying for Speak No Evil. And at the end of this movie, I was like so glad that I did stay
Yeah.
for
Thank goodness.
Speak No Evil. Yeah.
Because if you had seen that one, but not this one out of the two, that would have been
I mean, I would have still saw both, but just not back to back.
okay. Right.
Yeah, I would have came back the next day and saw Speak No Evil. But I was really glad that I stayed for it. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I was on the edge of my seat. The audience was on the edge of their seat also. Like people were having to move up and
Oh yeah.
sit up at scenes and stuff like that. I like
Yeah.
when that's happening around me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
a good. I like a good. I like a good audience reaction to stuff. You know how they're. Yeah, that's how you know they're paying attention.
Dude,
Yeah.
what's it called? We were at the South Lake Theater, and Alex, you've been there, so you know. Oh, it was active. It was active. It was a lot of. It was like we were all kind of watching it together, like screaming at the screen, like, "What are you doing?" Like it was no, it was active. It was active.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah,
what's
like
up.
people clapping, like people. Yeah, yeah. It was a very active. We saw it late, and I probably could have fallen asleep, but it was so active in there. Ain't no way I was falling asleep. Besides the movie itself, it was very active. People chit chatting. People not like having conversations mid movie, but like chit chatting to the movie on the movie itself, like a
Good,
like
good.
gasps and like yeah, it was active. It was a very interactive theater experience, which I like in certain situations. This was one where I like, yeah, it was good. Good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's definitely one of those movies that if the theater ain't active, that's lame. Because it's one of those movies that provokes reactions from people. So if you're not reacting to what's going on, then you're just lame, honestly. In the theater setting, like if you're really the type to sit there just like this, dead face, dead silent, like like, what's up, bro? Like
Yeah.
like it has to at least provoke a little movement, a little, something.
Yeah,
Like like one of those movies,
I started
I
eating
don't.
that popcorn.
basically react.
Yeah.
Do something to show that you're expressing intrigue, that you're reacting. Give us something.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, but anything else? I feel like we covered all points. I feel like we really got our point across, touched on some great things, and all pretty much have the same opinion, which is great. It doesn't happen often, but I'm
No.
glad it did. Or does anybody have any other final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I think it's it.
Yeah. Well, speaking no evil, you've heard it here. 2 thumbs up from the crew. Definitely go watch it. If you haven't already. I assume if you're here now, you've already seen it. But if for some reason you have not, go do it. Absolutely. Take a friend, take a girlfriend, do what you got to do. But definitely go watch it. It is definitely probably the best movie to come out this month so far, I think, in September. So far. That'd be my opinion. I don't know if you would put it above Beetlejuice. I haven't seen Beetlejuice. I know you did what?
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
But
I
anyway,
put it over Beetlejuice.
facts.
Me too.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the point
Dang.
is, go watch it. If you haven't, speak no evil. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like videos like this, the best way to let us know that you like this video is by hitting that thumbs up button on there, because it really does help us out. And if you like videos like this moving forward, we try to review all the new, latest, and greatest movies and TV shows. So stick around and follow us on this journey. Subscribe to the channel. Again, it really does help us out. We are so thankful. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was the Big Screen Show, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Later.